Well, I suppose if you aren't on Twitter, maybe you don't know. But I wanted to give you all a quick life update and let you know, that this morning my father passed away. Uh, and that sucks, obviously. But if you remember that I have constantly tried to take these situations in my life that are poor, and make them learning opportunities for my viewers and my friends, because I consider a lot of you friends. And a lot of people are like, dude, why are you even working today? I just don't know what to do else to do. You know, I am I supposed to just sit and stare at the wall and be sad? I don't know. You only kind of lose one. You lose your father only once. And I thought I would share um, a little bit. I recorded this where I was a little more raw, and I think I don't know if that would be appropriate, but if you're in my viewership, you're in your 30s and 40s or something. This is something that maybe you've had happen, or that you, um, may have to deal with at some point in your life. And I think there are a lot of key takeaways to learn from. And first and foremost, the biggest lesson, is to not wait until the funeral to tell somebody that you love them, or that you cherish them, or that you're thankful for them, because you may never get that chance. My dad, I loved him dearly, and he loved me. I was very lucky to have him. Even more lucky that 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I randomly showed up at his house and made it clear how much I loved and respected and was thankful for him, including my mom as well. Um, Now he's gone. So very thankful that I got a chance to tell him that. But the fact of the matter is, if I didn't randomly end up there on that day, I would never have had a chance to tell him that. He just got back from his oxygen stuff I told you all about. He's was good on that. He came over to my house last weekend. Um, and he just had seen a cardiac doctor, and it was all good. This morning he was standing in the kitchen. Now he's gone. Suddenly, just there on the floor. And I don't know if I can prepare anyone for what that looks like as a son or a daughter to see, but I know it couldn't possibly been as bad as what my mother saw. And my heart, there is nobody who could have done more for my dad than my mother did. She extended his life by many years by grinding him down, by making sure he did his breathing exercises. The COPD and the congestive heart failure that he had was never going to get better. But it was through her hard work, her tenacious work, that probably gave him an extra 2 or 3 years. Ironically, I'm not sure what got him. They thought maybe it was a blood clot or a heart thing today. And it's just one of those things that I think you're left, if you'll be in this position, and obviously I wish you wouldn't be, but you will be most likely. I think the immediate the immediate reaction is to ask all sorts of questions and say, "Oh my God, could I have done this differently? Could I have done?" The reality is probably not. Even if he had what happened to him today happen in a hospital, the chances are very slim that he would have made it. I make this video still probably in some level of shock. I mean, walking into my childhood home, and there he is on the floor, just never going to get that image out of my head. But I think that it's important that other people, that if in his passing, I can share the message that I want people to remember, is that you don't always get that TV moment. You don't always get that Hallmark moment You don't always get that hallmark moment where they're on their deathbed and everything's just timing up right and the clock strikes 12 and you get to tell them how much you love them as they pass away quietly. And that doesn't happen. This guy just got a clean-ish, he said his heart looked good. Now he's gone. There was no last moment at the hospital. There was no handing him a written letter. There's nothing. He's just dead now. And I don't want that to have happened to any of you. We will lose our parents. That's the natural order of things. But if I can use this terrible moment in my life to, I've done it before, right? I talk about my dad and his health, and I try to get you to quit smoking, and many of you did. And if I can talk about this to get you to, bury that hatchet with somebody, or to just tell somebody that you love them today, or that you're thankful. Tell your parents. Maybe your parents weren't the greatest to you, and you've got somebody in your life that was a mentor, somebody that matters to you. Just tell them. Send a text message. Give them a call. Because the reality is you're probably never going to get that chance to just really let them know. Because usually what happens is just like this. It was a very surreal experience. It felt like I was in a movie. Police officers there. I drive across the lawn to get in the front door. My mom's standing outside. There's an ambulance outside without their lights on, so I know that it's not good. And my thought immediately went to my mother, obviously. She's married to him for 50 years. And thank God for her sister. Her sister is her rock. She lives right there. She was already there. And I'm very thankful for her. My dad was not a emotional man. Never saw him cry. He was just kind of like a pretty even-keeled guy. But I know he was very proud of me. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And he knows that I loved him and that I was thankful for him. And he loved his granddaughter. And I know that he's up in heaven. He's just a good man. Just a good dude who loved his Culver's Butterburgers, maybe a little too much. And watching the Brewers and griping about the Brewers, playing bingo. He had a Butterburger yesterday from Culver's. He won some money at the casino on Saturday. He had a good weekend. In this situation, it's weird. You're just sitting there. It's an out-of-body experience, just kind of sitting there, and you don't really know what to do. Eventually, you can only cry so much, and you start making jokes and trying to laugh because it's so weird. But I feel compelled to use this to get you to remember that you don't get a chance very often. It was just by happenstance that I happened to be at their house. And he didn't get a chance to go to the hospital and have this long, prolonged thing where everyone can come in and leave and see him. So don't wait. Don't wait to the funeral when you're telling it to an empty vessel, right? I'm not a very spiritual guy, but if there is a heaven, I'm sure he's there. Maybe he's looking down at me. But the fact that I got lucky, blessed enough to have been able to tell him just a few weeks ago, I don't need to worry about that. And you shouldn't have to either. Tell your parents you love them and make them understand that you're not just being funny about it or that you're not just goofing off. That you're not just saying it, that you really mean it, and that, how they shaped your life. Maybe it's not your parents, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a teacher or a colleague or something. I don't know if I even said this in the video already, but a lot of people Or like, how are you even working today? Or what are you doing your show today? I didn't know what the heck to do. You don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I have to plan his funeral tomorrow morning. And people will say, take some time off. I don't think I want to take time off. I've got plenty of time alone with myself to think and reflect. But I don't know. I loved my dad, and I think he had a few years left in him. But he had health problems. I feel for my mother, who had to find him like that, who carries immense guilt for no reason whatsoever. There's nothing she could have done, but she blames herself. I hope I can take that away from her over time. And I'm going to miss my dad. I loved him very much, and I have nothing but fond memories of him. And I think that I hope that this situation that I'm going through will inspire you to bury a hatchet, will reach out, because the stuff just doesn't matter. You don't think about the bad times when they're gone. You think about the good. Think about the goofball that they were, the fact that they grilled liver sausage for lunch and it stunk up the house, that they poke holes in your sandwiches, in your sandwich buns. That's what you think about. You don't think about the time, that you got a spanking for mouthing off, or that they grounded you or whatever. You don't think about that stuff. Who cares? So just take a minute to let them know, and don't wait, because you more than likely will not get the chance. How's that for a Monday video? I don't know. It sucks. It just sucks. But I feel blessed that I got to say my piece. And I know he knew where I was coming from and that I was being honest and sincere. And I don't want you to miss out on that opportunity, because you never know. Life is fleeting.